Baron, I have a question for you.
Oh, Doc, tell me, what is it?
If one of us were Deadpool and the other were Wolverine, who would be who?
Oh, I think, that's a tough question. It's an impossible question. I don't think either of us are like either of us are like those two at all in any way.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what you think.
Well, if you're going to cast it though, I think I've kind of got to be Wolverine
Because
of their hair.
The hair, yes.
And that leaves you only Deadpool, so you just have to ham it up a little bit.
Because of my hideous scarred face.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, great.
Hi, welcome to That Reminds Me Of, a podcast about film and the films that remind us of that film. You're here with Baron and the Doc.
Do we need another drink?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've given away to the good people what we're talking about this week.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Absolutely. So, we did a reaction video back, I don't know, before the beginning of time, and now we're here to do the actual episode. Should we remind people what Deadpool and Wolverine is all about?
Well, we hardly need to because it's been all over the place. But to stick with the format of the show, I'll give a synopsis. What do you say?
Just to stick with the format. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Deadpool and Wolverine is the wild, chaotic crossover fans have been dreaming of. Directed by Shawn Levy, it brings together two of Marvel's most beloved anti-heroes in a hilarious, action-packed ride. Ryan Reynolds returns as Deadpool with his signature irreverent humour and meta-commentary, while Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine, gruff as ever, like me, and the perfect foil to Wade's antics. The film kicks off with Deadpool, now retired and working a mundane job, being roped into a multiverse mission by the Time Variance Authority. His universe is falling apart after Wolverine's death, so Wade does what only he would, steals a temp pad and hunts down a Wolverine variant to save his world. The journey throws them into the void where they face off against the villainous Mr. Paradox and the mind-bending powers of Cassandra Nova. The movie's vibe is pure fun, explosive action sequences, constant humour, and the perfect mix of Deadpool's absurdity with Wolverine's no-nonsense attitude. Again, like me. There are fourth wall breaking gags, multiverse mayhem, and plenty of fan service, with both characters pushed to their limits in the most outrageous ways possible. Did you find this film outrageous, Baron?
Outrageous? Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of what I expected. This is what Deadpool is. I think this is exactly what people were expecting when they came to see this film.
Did you like it?
You know what? I sort of semi-liked it. I think I liked it from the perspective of I like silly, fun films. And I wasn't expecting too much more than that. If you're somebody that loves, a deep, thoughtful film that with characters that maybe have an arc, perhaps you care about what happens to these characters, then maybe this isn't the film for you, because this is a film that sort of doesn't care about any of that sort of storytelling and is all about how many jokes can we fit in.
I hope Ryan Reynolds isn't listening to you, because I think deep in his heart, he thinks there is an arc to his story.
Sure.
I think he took the Deadpool mask off a little too often for my liking, and it was much about the Wade Wilson, Ryan Reynolds, hero's journey.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Nobody needs to see too much of that, particularly the little bits of stapled hair onto the head. Like that's
right.
I just imagined when I was watching this film that a group of like 10-year-olds who are uber comic book fans were like, what if, and then, but then this happens, and then, but then he comes and he appears, and then this happens, and they fight again, and then but no, it's this. That's kind of what it just feels like, the whole thing, the whole way through.
Well, the audience is kind of 10-year-olds in grown-up suits.
Yeah.
Like us. Like I enjoyed it for all of those reasons, really.
Yeah.
It takes you and it doesn't let you go, and you enjoy the whole ride. You have a fair few belly laughs. Then you leave and forget about it.
That's okay. You're allowed to just go to a film that's just ridiculous and silly. And we used to do it all the time. I don't know why we don't do it more. There were more of those films made. And we're going to talk about maybe some of them. But these days, they're few and far between. And they even reference it in this, where they're like, should we do the you know, the third act flashback
That's right.
to kind of have that meaningful moment. Like every film has that now because they're trying to pull those heartstrings and make you care about these characters. And they've just sort of forgone with all of that. They don't really care about that in this film. And that's kind of, it's refreshing, but because it's so silly, you don't even really notice that it's refreshing.
Yeah, the world is so serious now, and filmmaking is all ticking the boxes of what you can and can't say, and they sort of do that a little bit here, but they also kind of do whatever they want within some sort of guardrails, some sort of 2024 guardrails, but it feels pretty irreverent and fun. Like you don't know what's going to happen. There's no taboos.
Totally. You remember when we were talking back with Sean Mackay and
Mike Barry,
we were talking about the multiverse back in the day,
Yeah.
and how the multiverse kind of meant that there were no rules anymore and that anything could happen.
Yes.
Well, this is the nth degree of that.
Yeah.
It's a problem if you care. If you don't care, it's just fun. And I feel like that's what this film is.
Well, I think it needed this film. It needed some self-conscious exploration of this problem.
Yeah.
They needed to confront Marvel and the geniuses behind Marvel, needed to confront the problem head on because it was getting a bit ridiculous and stale. And to have the character of Deadpool basically critique the whole nonsense gives them a chance to, I don't know, reset. I don't know what the reset means, but, I think there's pre-Deadpool Wolverine and post-Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah. See, I worry that that's true, but that they'll just pretend this film doesn't exist.
Yeah, so do I.
And they'll just keep going on with the multiverse bullshit.
Keep doing the Eternals.
Yeah, because I mean, exactly. Because what this does is it sort of says, okay, what is the most ridiculous thing that could happen in a multiverse with Deadpool?
Yeah.
In particular, Deadpool, because you have that sequence, that extended, every version of Deadpool arrives, and it just, it's what you expect. It's too much,
Yep.
And they all fight each other and die horribly, and then you're meant to sort of, I don't know, is that the nod? Is that the nod to the ridiculousness of the multiverse? And is that cool? I don't know. I kind of didn't like it, but at the same time, I acknowledge that it's a nod.
Well, I wouldn't say I liked it or didn't like. No, actually, I will say I didn't like it, or the multiple Deadpools.
That sequence, yeah.
But that stands in stark contrast to my reaction of the multiple Wolverines.
Yes.
Now, it's Deadpool and Wolverine, like they're completely separate characters. That's why different characters. That's why the chemistry kind of works.
Yeah.
And that's what's novel.
Yes.
But when you look at the multiverse versions, you've got Deadpool's ones are all caricatures. They're not serious. The Wolverine ones, while funny, it just is an exhibition of Hugh Jackman's acting chops to just, with nuance, create all these different Wolverines that you can completely tell apart.
Yeah.
And that's compared to, Ryan Reynolds, who's, they're just like comic books.
Correct. And all of the Wolverines are played by Hugh Jackman. They're all requiring acting, whereas Deadpool's are just a whole bunch of extras and CG stand-ins.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, that's interesting. I like that. Yeah.
I reckon what was a triumph for this film was the marketing.
Yeah.
I don't go out searching for film marketing or advertising, but I was seeing these two chumps on the circuit everywhere. They were on Aussie Man. I saw them on Hot Wings. Is that what it's called? Hot Wings?
The one where they eat the hot
wings. Where they eat the hot wings?
Yeah.
And I feel that they nailed all their dot points that they needed to do. Like going into the movie, I knew that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are just the best of mates. They're having dinner with each other every second night.
Yeah.
And this was the project that they've always wanted to do.
They've been doing that for years, though. So I think that was a layup for them.
Yeah.
To be able to lean on that, but they did it superbly. I agree. Awesome. Do you want to talk about Reminds Me Of?
Yeah. Who starts?
Jeez, I don't even know. Where do we start?
I want you to start.
Okay. It's obvious. It's so obvious. And yet, I think we need to talk about it. So this is clearly a buddy film. And it's clearly a buddy film in the most classic of styles where you've got a wise-cracking wise ass
Yep.
and a straight man.
Yep.
So let's talk about 48 Hours. And I'm going to tell you what 48 Hours is all about.
You tell me and everyone here.
Okay, great. 48 Hours, made in 1982, one of the best years for making things, including myself.
Were you made in... Oh, sorry.
I was made in 1982.
You were made in 1982.
I was.
Great.
Is a buddy cop action comedy that pairs hard-edged San Francisco detective Jack Cates, played by Nick Nolte, with fast-talking convict Reggie Hammond, played by Eddie Murphy. When two violent cop killers break out of a prison, Cates is forced to partner with Hammond, granting him a 48-hour release from prison to help track them down. The unlikely duo initially clash, both in personality and approach, but soon develop a grudging respect for each other as they navigate danger, criminal underworlds, and their mutual distrust. This film marked Eddie Murphy's breakout role, with his sharp wit and comedic timing providing a perfect counterpoint to Nolte's gruff, cynical cop. Their chemistry drives the film, making it more than a simple action flick. It was directed by Walter Hill, and it balances intense action sequences with moments of humor, ultimately becoming a defining example of the buddy cop genre and arguably leading to other buddy films like Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's a great synopsis. Congratulations on the synopsis.
Thank you. Do you like how it was put together?
Yeah, I thought it was very well put together.
I worked hard on it.
I know you did.
ChatGPT and I did some serious work on this.
Well, I think the two of you are
Unstoppable?
are good buddies.
Good.
You know, you're a good duo.
ChatGPT just keeps wisecracking though. I have to keep it in line all the time.
Yeah, he's a crazy fellow.
Yeah.
I've just put the voice on him. Have you done that?
No?
Yeah, so I actually talk to ChatGPT now.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Wendy thinks it is.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Anyway, so you thought that this was obvious for Deadpool and Wolverine. I didn't even think about it.
Oh, interesting. What did you think about?
Well,
we'll get to that. But
we'll get to that.
In terms of buddy films, that crossed your mind, surely.
No, it didn't. Not until you told me, and you did tell me. But when you did, I thought, that's genius. This is just 48 hours done today.
Yeah. 48 hours with all the CG budget in the world.
Yeah.
This is what you can do.
48 hours, 40 years later.
Yes. 48 Hours has the scene, but it's not in the car, it's next to a car, where the two of them fight it out.
It's the same scene.
It's the same scene.
It's the same scene.
And it's because they just have to. It's kind of like Nick Nolte's character just goes, all right, I've had it with you. Let's go. You know what I mean? And they just have to fight.
These two characters, could they be any more perfectly aligned? Like Eddie Murphy, you watch him back and just these sort of sassy, you know, a bit campy sometimes, sort of his sort of cute little walk.
Yeah.
He's so Deadpool.
Yeah.
And his wisecracks, like the tone of his wisecracks in 48 Hours it could be Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I love about rewatching this film now, so many years on, it's a little bit slow to start with, but around sort of like 40 minutes in, it kind of finds its legs, pace-wise, and it just becomes the most fun thing to watch. And you're literally watching Eddie Murphy figure out how to be an actor.
Yes, you are.
You know, just like moment by moment, he's just trying to piece together drama and like, how do I do this stuff? It's great.
He works it out.
He does.
And I'll tell you what, who doesn't need to learn how to be an actor is Nick Nolte.
No, he's got it nailed.
He's great, as does Hugh Jackman, which is why they're so perfectly aligned as well. Like
Right.
Nick Nolte just feels like he's a big man, and he feels like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's had some hard luck. You know, he's drinking too much. Everything's wrong. He's exactly like good old Wolverine in the alternate universe.
Yes, absolutely. Great. Well, I'm glad that one lands with you.
It does. Do you know the scene that I liked even better than the fisticuff scene?
Yeah.
And that speaks to the similarities a bit is the scene afterwards when they're straight after punching each other's heads in. They're at some place looking in the mirror, both sort of fixing up their faces, perfectly comfortable with each other.
Yeah, best mates. Suddenly.
Best mates.
Yeah.
It's like Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, it's the sort of that age-old thing where people say that if two blokes have a problem, they just got to fight it out, and then
Yeah.
they'll be best mates.
Yeah, incredible. It doesn't age well in some respects,
No.
but in others, I kind of like that. I like having a document of the times.
Me too, actually. Yeah, it's pretty racist throughout. And then also, you can see through it the seeds of Beverly Hills Cop. Like you can see that's coming. And if I were to choose a film to just sit down and enjoy with the family or with friends, it'd be Beverly Hills Cop. However, as like a point in time where Eddie Murphy's figuring out who he's going to become as an actor and a comedian on film, like it's pretty great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's 48 hours.
Yeah.
I suppose it's my turn, is it?
It is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to mention another ripper. And this one's from 1992, I think, which is my heyday. I was not born in 92, but I was about 16.
You've aged well.
Thank you. And the movie is called Wayne's World. Can I synopsis up?
It. Yes, synopsis it up.
Okay. Wayne's World is a classic 90s comedy that brings to life the beloved Saturday Night Live characters Wayne Campbell, played by Mike Myers, and Garth Algar, played by Dana Carvey. The film follows Wayne and Garth, two goofy, lovable slackers like us, who host a public access TV show, a little like us too, from Wayne's basement. Definitely like us. Their lives take a sudden turn when a slick TV producer, played by Rob Lowe, offers to buy their show and turn it into a commercial hit. Along the way, they deal with romance, friendship, and some hilariously over-the-top corporate manipulation. Directed by Penelope Spheeris, Wayne's World is packed with unforgettable moments, like the famous Bohemian Rhapsody headbanging scene in the car. The movie is a blend of absurd humour, 90s pop culture references, and playful satire of the music industry. It became a cultural phenomenon, celebrated for its goofy charm and its irreverent take on fame, friendship, and selling out. With its memorable catchphrases and offbeat comedy, Wayne's World remains a beloved cult classic.
I love Wayne's World.
That was going to be my first question. Do you love Wayne's World?
I love it. Hey, Doc.
Yes.
Extreme close-up.
Oh! I wasn't prepared for that. What I was prepared for, though, is barreling the camera, because the reason I'm choosing Wayne's World is specifically because one of the features of Deadpool and Wolverine, or Deadpool in general, is the self-conscious nature of it, and particularly breaking the fourth wall, which means looking at the camera directly to the audience and speaking to the audience, and therefore defying all the norms of cinema tradition.
What a ripper. Yes. Now, I don't know how many films broke the fourth wall before this, but this film does it in such a genius way. Right down to those sort of moments where it's like, hey, come with me.
No.
Oops, I dropped the pen. And then you got to go, you follow while the pen's being picked up and there's a message beneath the table happening with the audience while there's something happening, the scene's going on. Like that level of fourth wall breaking is, I don't know. That feels to me like it was invented here.
Yeah. Well, that's a quintessential one.
Yes.
The Garth dropping the pen.
Yeah.
But there's so many others. Like I think it starts with Wayne kind of going outside of the action and speaking directly to the camera, establishing that relationship we have with him.
Yeah.
And he keeps it through the whole thing, just stopping mid-scene and, having a wink at us. I love this sort of crap. It's what I live for, breaking the fourth wall.
That's so good. Yeah, it's a cracker on all levels. The comedy, the humor in this is so goofy as well. And it has, what Deadpool and Wolverine has is there's a little bit of an abandon to it. It's just like I was saying before, the 10-year-old kids just going, and then this happens. Like this, it kind of feels a little bit like these guys got really high, and that's exactly what they did, to like nut out the story of Wayne's World.
Yeah, I doubt they were high. They were probably working very hard because they were working on Saturday Night Live, although you can be high working on SNL.
You can be high and work hard.
Yeah.
possible.
Okay, that's true. So they were high. But I think it's almost like the Deadpool of its time. This was really a thing back in the 90s. Like everyone loved it.
Yeah, big time.
To the point where I feel I was so much in it. Like I really did dress the same. Everyone dressed the same.
Yeah.
And had the same music taste. Like we were all exploring the 70s with Foxy Lady and Bohemian Rhapsody. So I was almost too close to it at the time. And now watching it back in hindsight, it just feels so nostalgic on so many levels and so good.
It's really enjoyable. Even today, going back and watching this film again now is such a fun ride. And that just for the fourth wall breaking is a perfect reminds me of for Deadpool.
Well, there's another one, another reason to remind of Deadpool, and that's the same thing as you were mentioning with 48 Hours.
Yes.
And it's a buddy film.
Yeah, it sure is.
So I don't know who's who. I don't know which is the Deadpool and which is the Wolverine in this case, but they are best mates, and there's they have a bit of not much antagonism, but you can really see that the main thing is their relationship through the film.
Beautiful. Well, I think those are two crackers. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is that I think we've discussed three great films today.
Yeah.
That's not always the case.
No. Sometimes, that's right. There's a lot of love here for all of these.
Yeah.
Probably more for the references than the actual film that we're here to talk about, but that's okay.
One question about Deadpool, coming back to the main guy.
Yeah.
Has he got more camp and silly as the movies have gone? I remember him more as he was a bit outrageous, with funny looking watches under his suit and everything, but I don't remember him being that sort of girly.
No, I think it's always been there.
Okay.
But I think I think he's refined that as he's gone along.
Yep.
I feel like it's come out a little bit more, but that's probably because he's running out of material. He's got to find new ways, new angles on this character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we could have hit peak Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool though for a little while.
Yes. I often wonder, are people going to get tired of Ryan Reynolds and his particular brand of humor? It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I think it will. I think he needs to maybe diversify, do something different.
Yep.
Go and do some indie thing where he's
sure.
got a beard and lost in the woods or something.
Yeah. He's tried to do things like horror and straight roles before, and it hasn't necessarily worked out for him. But yeah, I'd be keen to see that. I'm interested.
Cool.
I'm not going to say no.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I think that'll do for Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah.
I loved it. Loved the references, and I'll see you next time. What is next?
Alien Romulus is next on the list.
I can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
See you then.
Cheers, Doc.